everyone, it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and I have Stella here. She is nursing, so you're going to see a very tight crop around my face for at least this part. Depends on how long she keeps going. The topic of this video is Stella's 3-week update and my postpartum recovery 3-week update. So yeah, so she's very vocal. She may do a lot of noise, grunts, squeaks, whatever talking thing she was just doing. We're just gonna roll with it, and I'm gonna go down my list. I've been keeping track of things throughout the week. The main milestone that happened this week was her umbilical stump finally fell off. So we've been giving her little baths here and there. It's not recommended to bathe babies every day because their skin can get dry and you don't want to irritate their skin. We've just been doing every couple of day bath, and she'll have her bath time right when Livy has her bath time. And sometimes we have the baby bathtub in the same bath. We have just one of those big garden tubs so she can fit in her little bath and Livy can fit in the rest of the bath, and it's really fun like that. We've also had Livy in the big bath with lots of bubbles. We didn't want all of the bubbles and things to get on Stella, so she was outside of the bath in her own little bathtub. That one also worked really well. We found that Stella loves the sound of the shower, and sometimes we tag team for bath time, so Johnny and Olivia will be playing and I will be bathing Stella, or the other way around. And sometimes one of us hops in the shower and takes a shower while the kids are getting their baths, and it's just been working out really nicely. And since we noticed that Stella loves the shower, she just loves the sound of that, I downloaded a shower MP3 off of iTunes and I have it on my phone, so we play that at night. Before that, I was playing Ocean Waves, and we ended up playing Ocean Waves for Olivia as her white noise when she was a newborn, and she really liked that. And so far, Stella didn't seem to like that, but she really liked the shower noises. So hopefully the one on my phone will be really good for her. And also, since we realized she liked the shower noises, I decided to take my shower last night to get her ready for bed, and it was one of the best night's sleep we've had. I will talk about sleep. I've got notes written down from throughout the week. We did end up taking our newborn photos a while back, and yesterday we actually got the photos. The newborn photos will go up in a video slideshow separate from this. Probably by the time I actually get it done, it will be next week. So be looking for that. So let's talk about night sleep. So I had 2 really good nights in a row. There was like a 3-hour stretch those nights and then 2-hour stretches after that. And I really like that. I feel like if I have a good stretch the very first part of the night, you know, I'm exhausted when I get to bed. If I have that 2 or 3 hour stretch, it really doesn't matter what happens the rest of the night. It's like I got that little bit of energy that I can use for getting me through the rest of the night. So I really like that. So that first night I had a really good stretch, and then she was awake between 3 and 5 a.m. So basically for 2 hours she was awake. She just, you know, wide awake, and it was really hard to get her back to sleep. And basically, like, when she's up, there's very few things that she likes to do aside from just being snuggled. And so we basically snuggled for 2 hours. I sang to her a little bit. It's just really rough when she has these long periods of awake time during the night, because I really, you know, want to nurse her and go right back to sleep. And then the second night was just like that. I would nurse her and we would go right back to sleep all night long, and it was great. We just had to change a diaper here and there, but for the most part we just nursed, slept, and I really like those kind of nights. And that really good second night was like 10:30 to 7 a.m. so it was a really good sleep for me. And then there was another night that was not so good, and I had a major late night breakdown. She just did not want to sleep. Like, I got her nursed, we got ready for bed, and then she was awake, and then she was upset, and then she was grunting, and then she pooped a couple times, and it was just like everything went wrong. She just wouldn't settle, she just wouldn't get sleepy, and she was just wide awake and not super happy. And it went on from 10:30 to 12:30, and by 12:30 I just got really upset because she spit up a couple of times, and one of them was like a bigger time, and I was just like, geez, kid, you know, stop spitting up, please go to bed. And I was getting really flustered, and Johnny came in and he's like, what's going on? Johnny's a late nighter, so he came in, he's like, what's going on? And I just started breaking down in tears. I was like, she won't sleep and I don't know what to do. And he held her for a little while, and I ended up nursing her, and she did fall asleep that time finally. So after like 2.5 hours of being wide awake and me being exhausted and me finally having a teary breakdown, she did end up going to sleep, and the rest of the night was really smooth. It was just like, you know, those 1.5 to 2 hour stretches, and then she nurses and goes right back to sleep. Thankfully that day Johnny just let me sleep in. I slept until like 10 a.m. and made up for some of the time. That was one of the worst nights yet. It's just, like I said, I'm just already super tired at the beginning of the night, and I want to have like a really good stretch first thing, and then I feel like I can endure anything. So those were nights earlier in the week. It's pretty typical of us to have like the 2-hour stretches, sometimes a 3-hour stretch here and there, but it's really, you know, every hour and a half to 2 hours I'm nursing her, and then we go back to bed, and it's pretty smooth just going straight back to bed. Every once in a while I have to change a diaper, but for the most part we just nurse and sleep all night long. Last night was good, and I'll talk about it. It was one of our best nights yet, but the night before that, it was one of the worst cluster feeding nights. She was awake pretty much every 45 minutes. She wanted to nurse and she would go back to sleep. In that like 45-minute amount of time, it's hard for me to go back to sleep. And it seems like I'd finally go back to sleep and then again she would need to nurse. So I was like feeling like I barely closed my eyes by the time she needed to nurse for the next time. So it was just all night long, and I did take a good nap yesterday. I really, really needed it. And then last night was the best night yet, like I said. So yeah. So we figured out she really likes the shower noise, and I said, okay, I'm gonna start taking my showers at night so that she can be in there listening to the shower noise and get soothed right before bed. So that's what we did. Before bed, I hopped in the shower. She was in the pack and play. We just wheeled it into the bathroom. Thankfully, our bathroom's really big, so there's plenty of room. And she just listened to the shower noise while I started getting ready and took a shower. And then she was asleep. So I wheeled her back into the bedroom and she slept for 3 hours. So I got a really, really great stretch the first part of the night. And then the rest of the night, it was every 2 hours. So she just nursed every 2 hours. And it was just like straight through the night, and it was perfect. And it totally changes the whole outlook of the next day if I get good sleep. That has been just the hardest part for me. That was one of the hardest parts with Olivia as well. It's just not getting sleep. You know, you're so sleep deprived, and I feel like this week it really, really hit. Like the 3rd week in, I'm like, gosh, I'm so tired. I just complain a lot of mornings when the nights are rough. So it's just, I don't know, it really depends on how it's going. It seems like we'll have a good couple of nights, a bad night here and there, and last night was the best night. So I'm gonna keep up with this showering at night routine and hopefully keep her really relaxed getting ready for bed. I think part of the hard part about sleeping for me is she will be asleep, but she will be cooing and grunting and making all sorts of noise, even in her sleep. And that's really hard for me because I hear the noises, and it seems like she's gotten louder. Like her noises in the beginning didn't bother me and I could sleep through some of them, but now like her grunts are like full-blown adult level speaking grunts. They're just super loud, and something that was completely different from Olivia. We are still dealing with lots of spit up issues, which is really common, especially the first few months until their digestive system starts kicking in much better. But she just spits up all the time, and we do hold her upright after feedings, and even then, like, it's never enough. As long as I sit there and hold her, the second I put her down, see, that's what I'm talking about. She's very loud. But the second I put her down anywhere, even if I don't lay her completely flat, even if she's like up a little bit, she will spit up. And I read some things online about reflux and spitting up. One of the things they say is most swings and also most car seats are at an angle that puts pressure on their stomach. So when you put them in the swing, they spit up. And if you put them in the car seat, they spit up. And those are things we've been dealing with. And so I felt really reassured that like I'm not doing something wrong when I'm setting her down. It's just the exact wrong angle for them to be sitting at if they have spit up issues. So like that means the swing is completely out because I can't have it up all the way because she can't hold her head up and it puts her chin down, which is unsafe. And then I can't have it reclined all the way back because it's the perfect angle for her to just start spitting up. And some of our worst spit up times have been when I've tried to put her in her swing. It's just, the second I set her down, it's just like spit up after spit up. And it's scary for one thing, like having them spit up so much. And it's also really frustrating for me because that's like my liquid gold. Like my body spent energy making that milk, and I sat here and nursed her for so long with it, and to have her just spit a lot of it up is just kind of heartbreaking to me. Like, oh, we worked so hard to get that in your belly and it just comes right out. So we have not used the swing since figuring this thing out. That late night meltdown, it was me trying to set her in the swing and her spitting up and me just being so upset. Johnny heard me. Honestly, most of it was a blur, but I'm pretty sure I cursed, and I cursed loudly. And I think that's what he heard when he came in that room. And I just burst out crying because she had just spit up so much, and we had nursed, and it'd been like, you know, a couple of hours of me just nursing her on and off and snuggling with her. and for her to spit up so much of it the second she gets in that swing was just so frustrating. And of course, I'm not frustrated with her. She can't help it, but it's just like, why would they make the swings the wrong angle for babies who spit up? So that part's frustrating. So it's frustrating putting her into a car seat. I know she's gonna spit up most of the time. But anyway, as much as she spits up, as much as she makes lots of noises and grunts, she just does not cry that much. It's mainly just for diaper changes. I feel like we're so good at reading her cues, and we were not that good with Olivia. Like, I couldn't tell really when she was tired. I couldn't tell a lot of times when she was hungry or bored or any of those things. I really feel like it's a whole lot easier to read her. And also when they're hungry, they do root around, they do the tongue thrusting thing. And she just, you know, when she's hungry, she just stares at me and goes, like smacks her lips together, and it's so cute. And she's got these big chubby cheeks and a double chin now, and it's super duper cute to have her just like stare at me and smack like, are you gonna feed me right now? She just really seems expressive with that. I feel like Libby more rooted around for kind of anything, any kind of discomfort, so it was a little harder to read her cues. I told you guys her weight from her 2-week appointment. She's way surpassed her birth weight at this point. Can you find it? Are you still drinking? Yeah. Are you all done? What I did, I showed you her stats and her percentiles and stuff. She may be hiccuping now, but I did not end up watching Olivia's 1-week and 2-week update until going into this 3rd week. I watched all of her updates, and it was so funny. The weight progression was the exact same. Olivia weighed more, of course. So for Livy, she was down 4 ounces at week 1, and same with Stella. She was down by 4 ounces at that week 1 appointment, and then they were up 8 ounces by the 2nd week. So they both were down 4 ounces from their birth weight and then went up 8 ounces, which is a total of 12 ounces in the time from week 1 to week 2's appointment. So I thought that was really weird. The ounces were exactly the same for both kids, even though Stella weighs a lot less. Stella is really gassy. It's really hard for me to get her to burp. I spend so much time trying to burp her, and it doesn't really help. Like, she'll still spit up about the same amount. And also she's really gassy because of that. She's just really difficult to burp. Even if I get a couple of really good burps out of her, she still will do lots of spitting up, and she will also still have lots of gas. So I think that part of that has to do with I have such a strong, heavy letdown that she is gulping in air at the same time. And that will just regulate over the next few weeks, hopefully. But I have gotten gas drops, just the simethicone drops, I think is what it is. And I've given it to her twice. Most of the time she'll like grunt and then pass her gas, and it's not that big of a deal. But there's been these few times where she will just kind of seem uncomfortable and wiggle a lot and eventually pass some gas. So I've been trying to watch for that, and I do have the gas drops now that I can give her. We'll experiment with those and see if they help her, see if they give her some relief. So far we haven't used them enough to know if they really work that great for her or not. So for the daytime, I feel like she is consolidating her sleep, and she is starting to figure out her days and nights, because I feel like the last 3 nights, while she has, you know, cluster fed here and there, she hasn't had much of awake times. Like, we have just a little while where her eyes are open, and then she goes straight back to bed as soon as we nurse. So I think she is getting used to, you know, having the white noise on at night and having the lights down low, so she understands that it's night. And she has been consolidating her daytime sleep. She ends up having like 2 to 3 good stretches of nap, and then a couple of cat naps here and there. Like when she nurses, she'll cat nap, and then once I burp her, she's awake. We've had more awake time during the day, which is good. And so we just, you know, we alternate things. I finally pulled out her activity mat. We just got a hand-me-down one from somebody. It's one of those with like the cross bars, and the baby lays under it and kicks and touches the things. She's really like that. You can tell she's really trying to hit the certain items, and she'll hit them sometimes, but not a whole lot. Of course, babies don't have much control of anything at this point, so she's really trying to reach things. Olivia will play with her at the activity mat, which is really, really cute, and she seems to really like that a lot. We've also been doing some tummy time, so we will lean back and have her on our tummy so she can work on her head movement. I think they're home. We've done one tummy time where she was on the activity mat, and it lasted like 30 seconds to a minute. It was not long at all. You can hear Libby now. She just got home. So basically, like, she just wants to be held 24/7 and nurse. And so I pulled out the baby Catan. It's a wrap that I got this time around, and it's helped a lot. So I've been using that around the house when she just wants to be held and she doesn't want to play at her activity mat. She doesn't want to be in anything. All right, Johnny and Libby are carving our pumpkin, and I'm up here with Stella. She is kind of awake. I might tilt to the side just so you guys can see her better. There she is. She is currently sort of awake. She's been burping and spitting up, so that's the drill that we go through. So they're working on carving. I have a few more minutes. I can try to finish up this video. So I'm gonna grab my phone and see if we can get it done. I did have one more thing to talk about with Stella. She does have eye gunk. Her doctor said that their little tear ducts are just so teeny tiny. It's hard for them to keep them clear. So I have been doing little nasal massages right in the corner of her eyes. He said just massage that area, and we've been wiping the gunk as needed. But she does get really gunked up, especially in her left eye. This one over here. Sometimes the other eye has a little bit of issues, but mostly it's just that one eye. So I try to keep it clean, but she does get little crusties. Around the corner of her eye, she'll get some crusties. So we have to clean that up. But pretty much that's her whole update. My update's not that much. For one thing, I've just been having random letdowns now. And what I mean by that is like the milk just starts leaking out and it'll be just kind of random. I'll think of one of the girls and my milk will start flowing, and sometimes it's just snuggling with Olivia is enough to give me those like feel-good hormones and the milk starts flowing. And that's just been happening a lot for random weird things. She might be ready for round 2 of milk since she's burped a few big times. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. She might be ready for more. It's just been one of those things. I've leaked so much I cannot use those reusable nursing pads that I had. I just leak through them so fast. So I have been using the disposable ones for now until this kind of regulates itself. Then I think I'll be able to use the reusable ones more. We're just gonna roll with it. I don't know exactly what she's gonna want to do. I'm pretty sure I have an idea. She burped a few times and that seems to be the case. Like she'll go through a full nursing session and the second she burps, she's hungry again, or the second she goes poop, she's hungry again. And this is what she'll do. She'll just kind of stare at me, move her mouth a little bit, and tell me she's hungry. I haven't been taking hardly any medicine. There's occasional days where I feel like I overdid it and I'll take some ibuprofen near the end of the day. But other than that, I haven't taken anything. I have noticed that around my incisions getting tinglier. Ooh, yeah. Around my incisions getting tinglier, so I think the nerves are starting to try to work again. Before it was like really dead feeling, and now I'm getting more of the tinglies, the like needle feeling. It's kind of like when your foot falls asleep, you get that like pins and needles feeling. I'm having that more in my incision because it's starting to like wake up. Other than that, the whole area feels pretty good. It looks pretty sealed. I did end up taking off the last couple steri strips that the doctor had put on, and there were a couple of sections where the glue hadn't rubbed off. I went ahead and took that off as well. She's just wide awake. I'm gonna just try to roll with it. She's really distracting me with all her movements and noises. I hit past the 2-week mark. I have driven a couple of times, which has been fine. It's not affected me at all. But I do notice like the more I get up and do things and the more I walk around, the more bleeding I have. I was not bleeding hardly at all up to like week 2. And then I started doing more and I've noticed more blood, and it's not a scary amount. At first when the bleeding came back, it was like a gush. It was really, really heavy and it did worry me at first. The way of thinking is like if you soak a pad an hour for 3 hours straight, you need to go to the ER or to your doctor or wherever and get checked out. And I had soaked 1 pad in an hour and then it slowed down after that. So it was just like one gush from me overdoing it a little bit, and I haven't done anything strenuous. I haven't been doing heavy lifting or anything. I have barely vacuumed at all, and I've only been using a really lightweight stick vacuum, not the heavy duty one that weighs a lot. And I've been just basically like picking her up, and that's it as far as picking up things. So it's just me walking around and moving and getting that last bit of blood out, hopefully. It's been just kind of on and off this last week. Just a little bit of bleeding here and there. One day we went to the pumpkin patch. It was a lot of walking around, and that day I seemed to bleed a little bit more. And the only other thing I have written down is my weight. I was 186 last week and I'm 181 this week. So it's 5 pounds down. Ooh, it's 5 pounds down from last week. And that's pretty much it. I feel mostly back to normal aside from, you know, boob leakage and sleep deprivation. And I think the sleep has been the hardest thing this time. Having the bigger kid to take care of as well, trying to stick onto her schedule. And even with 2 of us here, it's just been harder. I feel like, first of all, we were almost 5 years younger the first time around. So I feel like that probably has something to do with it. Because I think actually Stella sleeps better than Olivia slept at this point. I don't know. She's a little too far away from the camera to see herself, I think. But I'll sit here and she can hiccup for you guys for a minute. But I feel like just the sleep deprivation has been the hardest thing. I feel really brain dead a lot of the time, especially those nights where she's just doing like cluster feeding or she's being up for a period of time. It's just been really rough. So I think in week 3 with Olivia, she started getting the baby acne, and I've noticed a couple of little marks here and there on her cheek, and I don't know if it's her scratching. We have been trying to cut her nails really short, but they're really sharp. So it might be that, it might just be the baby acne starting, but I am getting major acne. I've had tons of it around my chin area especially. So that part has been just, you know, the typical pregnancy hormone thing. She is just hiccuping for you guys. Yeah, you like sitting upright a little bit. But I think that is it. I will go ahead and show you guys my belly, and that'll be it. All right, so here is 3-week postpartum belly. I feel like I have some like saggy, droopy skin right there, but overall I'm feeling so much less swollen. You know, it'll take a while for the pooch to go away, if it ever really goes away. She is super hiccupy today, so you're gonna hear that, but there's what it looks like. I definitely feel super pudgy, but it is what it is, and it was worth it to get this little chunker, so I'm pretty happy with it. You can see better there. These are those LuLaRoe leggings. I have them like pulled all the way up. So you see lines from that. So I really like these. These are nursing tanks. I got another 3-pack of those, so they're the same ones, just different colors. I have 6 of them now, so it's great. I can have some in the wash and then always have some clean, which I need because yesterday she spit up on me like 3 big separate times, and it was a lot, so I had to keep changing outfits. So I think that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a little bit spacey and all over the place because of interruptions and baby noises and things, but I hope you guys liked it. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll try to have that newborn slideshow video next week, along with her 4-week update or her month update. I don't know if it'll be exactly done at 4 weeks, but it'll be her 1-month update. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.